This is the Philips Avent Bottle Warmer that promises to warm up 5 ounces, 150 milliliters of water or breast milk within 3 minutes and keep it warm for up to an hour before it will automatically turn itself off. As a new parent navigating the labyrinth of baby gear, you realize that efficiency and usability are paramount. So we spent a couple months using this bottle warmer to see how it lives up to the promises, and today I just wanted to share which things we appreciated about it, as well as one thing that we didn't really like too much that could be a deal breaker. So hopefully you'll learn something new today that will help you decide whether or not this is a product that you would want to get. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In case you're new here, my name is Mike. I'm a coach, husband, and dad based in the Netherlands, and on this channel we explore the gadgets, the strategies, and the tools that help make life a little bit easier, a little bit more enjoyable, and more productive. The Avent Bottle Warmer boasts a simplistic and minimalistic design, and it kind of is, but it is still rather chunky. It's discreet enough that it's not huge, but it's also not small. You get a very simplistic dial at the front that you can turn to indicate the total volume of breast milk or water that you want to warm up, or a defrost function. And when you click in the dial, a little ring lights up on the front to indicate how far along the warming process is. It's a total of 3 lights. Once all 3 lights are fully illuminated, then it is done. It's got a cord wrap tucked away underneath the unit, so cable management is also incorporated, and it's done in a nice user-friendly kind of way. The true test of the product itself is how well it warms up the milk for your little one. The Avent Bottle Warmer does deliver for the most part. The promise is that it will warm up 5 ounces or 150 milliliters to the ideal temperature within 3 minutes. And I've looked everywhere. Ideal temperature is all I find. I never find a specific temperature. So naturally, I wanted to test it. What does it land at? We'll get to those results in a second. The bottle warmer works like a warm bath. You put the bottle in there and then you pour water up to the level of where the water is inside the bottle. In case the milk inside the bottle exceeds the height limit of the product itself, then you warm it up basically to the top, say for 1 centimeter or nearly half an inch. And that basically is how you use it, and that brings it to the test. So what I did is I took 150 milliliters of room temp water, room temp being about 20 degrees Celsius, and measured how it performed when I click the button. Amazingly enough, going from turning it on to all lights on was legit 3 minutes to the second. So that was pretty damn incredible. Very impressive. But what was kind of different was the temperature of the water inside it. So I used a little meat thermometer to stick it in there, measure out the temperature. And according to my thermometer, it was right at the 3 minutes mark where it said it was done at 32 Celsius. Then I waited another 5 minutes to see what was up, and it was at 40 Celsius. Then I waited to see every 10 minutes after it was done. So 10 minutes, 13 minutes total, was at 41.5. 20 minutes after it was done, 41.5. 30 minutes after it was done, 41.2. 40 minutes after, 41.1. And then it just kind of settled in at 41 degrees until it turned off. So ideal temperature, what is it? Seems to be 41 degrees Celsius, because that's kind of where it held steady. But if you rely only on the lights to let you know when it's ready, then it still won't be warm enough. 32 Celsius is not the ideal temperature, and better yet, the fact that it goes from 32 to 40 over another 5 minutes after telling you that it's ready, it's just a little bit weird. And that's the main gripe that we had with this bottle warmer. Because 40, 41 is too warm. You do the wrist test, it actually feels hot on the wrist. I don't want to feed that temperature to our baby. It's kind of like a guessing game. When it's done, you still got to wait a little bit, but not too long. In terms of user friendliness, it is really simple. You click the button, you wait. When it's done, you can grab it with one hand, feed it directly to your baby. Awesome. But in terms of having the temperature be right and accurate, there it kind of drops the ball a little bit. And in my honest opinion, that's the part that matters the most, being right about the temperature. And the fact that there's only one temperature that this can set it to, you only change the volume, you don't change the desired temperature, that part was a bit of a deal breaker for me. It's a little bit too hot for my liking. What about its versatility? Well, Since it's a Philips product, it works really well and probably best with the Philips Avent bottles. It also fits the majority of food jars and other bottles, and the better thing about it is it doesn't require any kind of adapter. You can just place a bottle inside it. We have also used Dr. Brown bottles, and those bottles are narrow and tall, skinny and tall. Our own experience with that has been mostly pleasant. However, we did have several occasions where the milk did not feel warm when the lights were fully on, similar to the test, but it felt like with skinny, taller bottles like the Dr. Brown, this happened more frequently and we needed to wait longer after the 3 lights were on until it felt like it was warm enough to feed, at like 37 degrees body temperature. One extra small thing that is just a little bit of an inconvenience about this is when you want to reheat the bottle a little bit after you've used it or reuse it shortly after using it. So the way that you're supposed to reset this thing is to pour out the water and let it be off so that it can cool down for a couple minutes so all the components can get back to standard. It's an annoyance you need to be aware of because if you're mid-feed, your baby doesn't really want it, so you put the bottle to the side, that bottle cools down, and if you have a picky eater who doesn't like to eat room temp bottles, then you're gonna need to reheat it. Or reheat it, you need to empty this out, you need to let that sit for a little bit, put the bottle in, pour in water again, hit go, and then you need to change the dial based on how much is left. It's a small process that needs to happen every single time. You get used to it, but it's not ideal. All in all, it's a good product. It does what it does really well. There's just a couple little nuances that make it a little bit frustrating. For the price, it's really good. And we ended up using it for a little bit for our bottles, but we ended up switching over to an alternative for the most part. However, when solids come back into play, this thing might be coming back out. We'll just have to look and see. That's only in a couple months, so we'll figure it out. If you enjoyed this video, but you are still on the lookout for another alternative, or this doesn't really have you entirely sold, check out my Bambini bottle review over here. And in case you're wondering how that My Bambini stacks up in a head-to-head versus this Philips Avent, then check out the head-to-head video as well. Thanks for watching, leave a like for Mike, and see you later.